Hi, I'm Kristina. Thank you for joining us today. Today I have a special guest. She is not only a very good friend, she's my sister-in-law, and she has seen a lot throughout my illness, and she will be asking me a few questions today. So to introduce her, this is Annie.
Hi there. I'm the questioner.
Okay.
So, what type of bipolar disorder do you have?
Good question. I have bipolar 1 with psychotic features, rapid cycling, and mixed state, which is kind of a lot of different things, which basically means it's a really serious type that's hard to treat.
Sounds serious. How old were you when you had your first? Well, we're jumping right in here. How old were you when you had your first psychotic episode?
Yeah, I think we're gonna focus on psychosis because I know a lot of my viewers seem to want to know about psychosis. I can only talk about the psychosis I have experienced. I don't know what other people might experience. But as for my own, my first psychotic break was about 6 years ago now, and I had actually stopped taking all of my medications. I was manic, and I believed that the medications were poisoning me and that I needed to stop them. And when I did so, which is a very bad thing to do, never stop your meds without titrating down. It's bad idea. But I went into psychosis, mania, and then psychosis. And so that was, it was 6 years ago. I'm 56, so 50 years old.
So, you discontinued your meds. I guess that was your first clue. But once that happened, were you able to see any of this coming? Were there warning signals that you could perceive?
Not at the time. At the time, it was very strange, and I had, strange stuff going on with the psychosis. I did not recognize warning signals at the beginning.
You didn't really know what was...
No, I did not know, and I wouldn't know until, some, months later, what it was. But since then, yes, I do have warning signs.
Okay, so what kind of, now that you've had some experience with this, what kinds of signals can you recognize as being a part of this?
Sure. Myself personally, I have delusions. And the delusions are like persecutory, is that the word I'm looking for? Be persecuted and in a non-realistic way, or an exaggerated way, where things become distorted and I'm making, you could call it a mountain out of a molehill, but I'm not able to clearly process thoughts.
Well, so, we all make mountains out of molehills. So what's the difference between, what makes it different, I guess, is what I'm curious about.
If I didn't pay attention to this, and this has happened twice since my initial, call it first psychotic episode, if I didn't pay attention, I would go into a psychotic episode, which would require extreme measures to get me back under control. Now, as it is, I am able to spot the warning signals, being slightly disorganized thoughts or, quickly, and I'm really lucky that I was able to do this. But also, the main thing that helps me from getting these psychotic thoughts are the fact that I keep my condition medicated and under control. Because the longer you ignore mania and let it run its course, the more chances you have of psychosis, and your symptoms and illness are going to be advanced.
So, what is it like? Do you hear things or see things or?
Myself personally, I have delusions, those being what I just mentioned, of feeling like I'm persecutory, where people are against me. And I have hallucinations if I'm really in one. They're not always bad hallucinations. Some of them are kind of funny, but I don't hear voices, no.
So, and by hallucinations, I mean, is that like the walls are breathing or?
It can mean the walls are breathing. It can mean seeing a cavalry, army on a blank wall and 2 steps forward, 1 step back. I mean, it's just
Kind of
weird.
watching a
Yeah,
projection.
it's weird stuff, and it's even more weird that I've kind of learned how to recognize it, even though I can't control or stop it. If that makes sense.
You can go, oh, that's not real.
Yeah, I go, this isn't real, but I can't, without medication, I can't get back to where I need to be.
Sounds scary.
Yeah, so far it hasn't been scary, but it could be. Definitely could be. And you could put yourself in mania, you feel invincible already. You feel like you can do anything. So add psychosis, and that's where people, believe they can fly. And, jump off a building and fly and things like that. It could be very dangerous and scary.
So, was there any time when you, well, let's hear about the worst it ever got.
The worst it ever got was my first time, and that was where I had stopped my medication. I had stopped eating as well, and I went into a psychosis, and I thought I had bed bugs in my bed. And though there were no bed bugs, I thought I did. And I went about on my arms, my whole body. I was also very thin at the time, but I felt that I had bed bugs. So I went about the whole putting plastic all around my bed. And, I showed my mom, look, there's bed. She said, I don't see anything. But I went so far as to poison myself, meaning I went to a feed store and I bought a wormer for horses and flea dip for dogs, and I took the wormer for horses and I took the flea dip for dogs because my whole thinking was that I needed to kill not only the adults but their children so they wouldn't have babies.
And you're not a horse or a dog.
and following this whole
You're a
thing,
human being.
I think it was time that led me out of the psychosis. It was 3 days, but during that 3 days after that, I remember everything smelling so horribly different. It was totally distorted, and also I would hear knocking, and I'd answer, "Who's there?" And
Oh my goodness.
there was no knocking.
Oh my goodness. So, does everybody with bipolar disorder have these kinds of experiences?
No, absolutely not. And bipolar disorder, there's 4 types of bipolar disorder, more or less. There's bipolar 1, which I have, bipolar 2, which does not have mania. They encounter more depression and they encounter hypomania. Then there is...
And what's hypomania?
Hypomania is before mania. It is... Okay, so if this is level, hypomania is here. It's an elevated self, but it's not mania. It's very different from mania.
So a good mood, kind of?
It can be productive, and it can be, if you can get that sweet spot and stay in there, it can be very productive for people with bipolar disorder, and that's the situation that I've been lucky enough to be in. But as far as everyone experiencing psychosis, no. Now, bipolar 1, my type, would be the type with psychosis because of mania. And, mania untreated, unchecked, it can easily lead, as it did with me, lead into psychosis. Once you've gone there, it doesn't ever go backwards. You can control it some, but it continues progressing.
So when you go from mania to psychosis, are you happy?
Mania is usually a happy thing. It's usually a feeling. I mean, I've never done like really hard drugs like heroin or anything like that, but I've been told that mania is equivalent to or above heroin. It's a feeling that I just can't really describe. It's a feeling like invincible, feeling untouchable, and all empowering and brilliant, and also having the answers to questions that I wouldn't normally have, which is a bit weird, and so that makes me kind of question that. But yeah,
So that's a warning sign.
that's a warning sign. And letting mania go unchecked for too long can, in my experience, myself and a few others, definitely lead to psychosis, and that's something you want to avoid altogether.
So do you have bipolar friends that you can...
I don't. I have an online community, which I really enjoy, talking to, but I don't. I live in a very small community, and though I, am out and an advocate for mental health, I haven't met anybody in my community yet with bipolar, but I do hope to. So, but at this point, it's just my online community.
Right, I guess people don't go around bragging about this all the time.
Not everyone comes out like I have, but you get to a point. I'm, my mid-50s, and you get to a point where you're just tired of ducking and diving, and you just want to let it be known.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I want to ask you. Well, I mean, you've been in treatment for a while, and you've been able to manage this stuff with medication and therapy for a while now. What's the best thing that's happened since you started?
Oh my gosh, definitely. My life was totally spiraled out of control. The best thing that happened to me was having a break that was so serious that my family and everyone had given up on me, understandably so, and I needed to, take accountability for my life. And I was lucky in that I did do that, and I've kept doing that. And so that's been about 5 years ago now, and it's still not perfect. I still have bipolar, I still have the ups and downs, but my lithium and other medications help to where I can, keep them lighter. And it's so rewarding, and I never thought it would be possible to have family and friends forgive me after some of my antics.
But we did. It's true.
And I'm so grateful for that. So anyway, thank you so much, you guys, for watching us. And I hope you got something out of this. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. Please like and subscribe if you like this. If you don't like it, don't subscribe. But I hope you do. Anyway, thanks, and we'll see you next time.